he came in under a program. That was a legal form of entry. What's the difference between someone like that and someone who comes in under a different program, spends a lot of money, but then stands and takes a test and says the Pledge of Allegiance? I don't think there's a lot of difference. I think if there's programs like this and the problem becomes monitoring it, the problem becomes keeping track of all the people who come in on that. But isn't this basically what the
Haitian population that's in Springfield, Ohio, that became so famous
I hear they're doing
during this election,
untoward things.
This last election cycle? But
yes.
In all the fact-checking that happened with that disinformation that happened around them and what they were eating, they're all here legally.
Yes.
They're here through a program that allowed them to work, and they are working.
To me, I think it could work again. It'll be bigger. There'll be more bureaucracy because that's just the world we live in. But those kind of things could work. And I think on a rational level, I don't see a big issue because, like I said before, I don't see a difference between someone who comes in like that, works, contributes to society, pays their taxes, does what, quote unquote, a real citizen would do, but they didn't take a pledge in front of a judge. I don't need that. I need somebody who's going to contribute.
And I think that's there was another text on the text line that said from the 414 saying 90% of us are all about immigration. We just want it to be legal.
Right.
And I think that is hopefully on the priority list beyond mass deportations of having more avenues that are less expensive, less lengthy for people who want to come here and contribute, whether that be the United States or Wisconsin. Yeah. And have it be legal. And
I'm only second generation, so my family hasn't been here that long.
Yeah.
They all emigrated, so I'm for it. But let's ramp it up.
Ramp it up.
ABC News local headlines next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The casket of former President Jimmy Carter arriving at Joint Base Andrews this past hour, making the journey from his home state of Georgia to the nation's capital. His casket will lie in state at the U.S. Capitol until his state funeral on Thursday. Jimmy Carter was 100 years old. President-elect Trump at a briefing today vowed to reverse President Biden's executive order banning off-coast drilling.
It's not really clear how Trump can just easily revoke that. His lawyers are surely going to have to do some legal analysis, given that that is a pretty major loophole that appears to be making this difficult for them, given that it has this permanent authority. Maybe it's something they go to the courts about. But again, it's not going to be as easy as Trump at least portrayed that it would be during his remarks.
ABC's Catherine Faulders. A new brush fire challenging fire crews in Southern California whipped up by Santa Ana winds. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Greg Matzik. A man is recovering after he fell through the ice while riding his UTV on Lake Holcomb in Chippewa County. It happened on Monday. This comes after two men were rescued from Lake Sinisippi when their UTV fell through the ice Sunday evening. One of those men was arrested for operating a vehicle while intoxicated. An update on the search for a driver who struck a postal worker in Waukesha. Police arrested the driver on one count of hit and run involving injury. The suspect was issued a citation and then released. Waukesha police say the driver cooperated with the investigation. The suspect says they drove off because they did not believe the mailman was struck and interpreted a wave from the worker as a signal he was okay. And stricter voter ID requirements could be coming to Wisconsin's Constitution. State Republicans are proposing an amendment for the April spring ballot to enshrine Wisconsin's photo ID requirement into the Constitution of the state. State Democrats argue the requirement makes it more difficult for people to vote, especially the elderly and those without an ID. Wisconsin is one of 9 states where voters must present a photo ID to cast a ballot. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Lots of red today with the Dow lagging about 80 points at 42,625. NASDAQ off nearly 300 points at 19,566. S&P 500 is down about 50 today at 59.28. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today. Taking a look at your roads here, WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Update. Standard travel times across the system, very low volume and dry conditions. Much different than yesterday about this time. You're moving along freely about the system this afternoon. Partly cloudy today with a high of 27 degrees. Sun and clouds on Wednesday. Some flurries possible and a high of 22, up to 28 on Thursday under partly cloudy skies. Right now in Waukesha, it's 21 degrees. Madison, 22. Green Bay, 24. It's 25 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Siding Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:33.
The holiday season may be coming to a close, but there's still plenty of time to make it a magical one. Ring in the new year with something stunning and timeless from Diamonds Direct. Start the new year with a celebration of your love, or even a celebration of yourself. Whether you're shopping for the perfect wedding bands, a beautiful pair of diamond studs that were missing from under your tree, or the engagement ring of their dreams, Diamonds Direct has just what you're wishing for. This year, make your New Year's resolution to shop smarter by shopping direct. Making a decision on where to make your next jewelry purchase has never been easier. At Diamonds Direct, you're guaranteed to get an extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and the white glove service that we've long been known for. Let the experts at Diamonds Direct show you the difference in a concierge luxury shopping experience. Kick off the new year the way you've always wanted. Customize your experience in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com today. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory's arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Whether you are a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Hey, maybe you got friends coming in from out of town. St. Kate the Arts Hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee with deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music. You and your friends will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Hey, we haven't done this in a while. It's time for Giving Tuesday, where we
Yay.
introduce you to Wisconsin people and organizations that are advocating for causes across the state. And I've talked about this before. I have multiple family members who have disabilities. I have a cousin with spina bifida who's in a wheelchair. I had a cousin who had muscular dystrophy who's since passed but was in a wheelchair. But I also have just aging family
Yes.
members who no longer can do stairs. And so, you know, the reality is, and I know this is the mission of the Ability Center, is that we are all, if we are lucky enough to live long enough, able-bodied for now.
Exactly.
Barring a temporary injury, a permanent injury, or just aging to the point where you can't, like my godmother can't come to my house because my house has stairs, right?
Yeah.
And so how do we think about when we're creating new spaces, having it be accessible for everybody? And that is exactly what the Ability Center does here in the Milwaukee area. And joining us now in person is the founder and CEO, Damian Buchman. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. Listen, you guys are speaking my language already. I don't even know why I'm here. You already get it. It's amazing. You're speaking right into what we talk about. We all belong to one demographic. We
Right.
call that TABS, which stands for temporarily able-bodied.
Yeah.
Whether it's
It makes
disease
sense.
or accident, or as you stated, the aging process, this is inescapable for all of us.
And so why do you think, when we think about almost every space that largely, especially if it predates the
Americans with Disabilities
you.
Act,
The ADA.
which was only 35 years old this
Exactly.
year.
So we think about some of our historic buildings that are grandfathered in, but why? It's not like disabilities are new.
No.
So why is this still such a newer concept to try to create when we're building new spaces of like, oh, we have to think in that way?
Right. Well, I think that what we generally tend to think is, well, I don't have many of those customers, or I don't have many of those people around me, or I don't think we really need it. So it becomes this mentality of, well, let's do this just in case we have to, or the law says we have to. So we go bare minimum. One of the things I like to talk about is access does not equal opportunity. So just because I can get in the door which is the access, which is the ADA, and I can go to the bathroom. That doesn't mean I can access every table in a restaurant, every piece of equipment in a gym, or on and on and on. And I think one of the greatest things I saw recently was kind of a meme that explained, exactly what you're talking about, which is it's not really the disability that's the issue. It's the environments. And people with disabilities have been around as long as humanity. Why aren't we designing universally?
Is it more like a if you build it, they will come kind of scenario? If places are more accessible, then the people are going to use it.
People hate those comments, especially in business, right? They think build it, you can come. That's not a business model. The Ability Center has proven this in Milwaukee, that it actually happens.
It is.
We have a 3-on-3 wheelchair basketball tournament where any ability can play. We have a 3-on-3 wheelchair basketball league. All abilities can play. We've got Bradford Beach. As soon as we rolled out that map, you would have thought that we staged the day. Because people with bicycles use the mat. People on skateboards use the mat. An elderly woman on a scooter used the mat. Everybody used it. And once they saw it in action, I told the parks, this is going to be for everybody. And they just didn't believe it until they all saw it. And it was immediate.
So now that you've kind of started to touch on it, explain all the different programming that the Ability Center does. Well, you have a time limit, but
it's great. It's starting to. It's. I'm not going to say it's too much. It's wonderful. We do in-school programs for inclusive education. We do open gyms where, again, everybody can come and play together and learn how to play in what we just call a different pair of shoes, right? You strap on golf shoes to golf. You put on Jordans to play basketball, put on a wheelchair and play adaptive sports. No big deal, no disability required in our world. And then we've got our Ramp Up movement, which is the most significant right now. And really exciting project coming up. We're building the country's first ever universal park in Wauwatosa. Never been done before.
What does that look like? Because you and I have talked about this in the past as far as what is a universal park?
Yeah, it's a great question. So right now we're all very familiar with building an inclusive playground, right?
Sure.
They exist and they're starting to dot suburbs all over the place. But every playground is in a park. And why are we limiting people with disabilities from just playing on the playground? And then we're also in that space only thinking about kids. We think playground, we think kids. We don't think, what about the parent with a disability? Who, if I can't bring my able-bodied child there because I can't chase them when they escape the inclusive playground, now I can't keep them safe. What about grandma and grandpa? What about the elderly? Everybody should be able to be a part of a park and the entirety of it, not just the playground. So for our project, we actually have an 18-acre park to work with. So that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
For people who haven't seen it, inclusive park, or read about it, logistically, what is it? Because you mentioned kids running away and things like that.
So from playgrounds to fitness to sports fields to bathrooms to the woods, everything is going to be universally accessible. We are actually building things and designing things with our partner Game Time that have never been designed before. And they're on their third rendition. So this is a little bit of a tease. I can't really talk about it because it's still under wraps. But we're on the third rendition of something that kids have never been able to experience on a playground as wheelchair users, or really any level of disability or limitation.
That sounds great. Now, this all sounds good. People maybe wonder, well, how did Damien get involved in this? What's his background? What's your deal? So what brought you to this place?
2-time survivor of childhood bone cancer. So I just actually I'm starting to actually lose track. It used to be my favorite thing was to count. I think I had my 31st knee replacement and revision this last October. Wow. I was supposed to be dead. Wasn't supposed to see my 15th or 16th birthday. Nobody expect me to walk out of Children's Hospital a survivor in 1993. So I proudly wear my wrinkles at 46 years old. And I've known that at some point, someday, I may be a bilateral above knee amputee. Right. And what does that look like for me in the world and being able to play with the people I love? And so now I'm a father of 3 adopted boys. And when we go to the park, I want to play with my kids.
Sure.
That's who they look back to. And I should be able to play with them. Yeah. They should be able to have a part of that experience.
And so as you've founded the Ability Center, what are some of the stories that stand out to you as far as that it remind you of your story as far what this means to people?
Yeah. I think there are so many cool moments. One of them more recently was we did it's called ASAP, so it stands for Adaptive Scholastic Athletic Program. So this is when we go into schools and everybody plays again in a different pair of shoes. One of the girls at a local middle school recently came home and told her mom, I'm no longer the disabled student or friend or peer. I'm the athlete. Because all of her peers got to play in a chair with her, and she got to show them what her ability really is. Yeah. And she was cooking them, right? She's in 6th grade. She's a bilateral above knee amputee, and she's cooking 8th grade boys, right? And so they're like, wow, you can do things we didn't know you can do. And when they were able to experience what that ability for her looks like and how disadvantaged they were in the moment, and kind of like we point out to those kids, like, you're the disabled wheelchair basketball player right now. If the ability is the proficiency to do something well, then she's way better than you are, and now you're disabled. And they get it. It just opens this lens where they no longer see what people can't do and they see what they can. So stories like that it's a fuel that just keeps me going.
How important is it to get young kids to understand this? Because, as you said, some businesses still aren't grasping it.
Right.
But all of a sudden, these 8th grade boys, now they have an epiphany. Wow. And they're going to remember that, hopefully, the rest of their lives.
I mean, we've seen it happen, right? We've seen kids who come to volunteer. They're like, hey, can we volunteer for you, high school kids? Absolutely. And when you volunteer for the Ability Center at like our open gyms, you're basically just playing with us. You're going to unload the trailer. You're going to reload the trailer. But in the middle for 3 hours, you're going to play. And they bring friends back because they had such a fun experience. And they don't necessarily come back to volunteer. They come back to play because they had so much fun.
That's awesome.
It is the greatest equalizer that exists. That's what I have found.
That is so cool. All right. Where can people get more information? I know you guys are you still raising money for the park?
We are. We're halfway there. We've raised about $7 million. We're halfway to phase 1. So I want to invite everybody to go to universalpark.org and let's make this happen, Milwaukee. I mean, this will be the first ever Universal Park in the entire country, and we can lay claim to that.
All right. So universalpark.org.
Yes.
What is the Ability Center's website?
Is tacwi.org.
There you go. All right, Damian Bookman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me and for speaking my language.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we'll be back with more after this.
If you know of a Wisconsin organization you would like highlighted on Giving Tuesday, email us at spanning@wtmj.com. We can always use a little help from our
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring great tips on how to operate your home. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. Yet at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Shop the January New Year's sale on better quality furniture and mattresses at Ken Michaels Furniture.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. And they're the best. Let them make Outdoor Living Unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
I found a fountain of youth down there at QC Kinetics.
That's Henry Hinton, feeling like his young, active self again after treatments at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine.
I still have trouble walking down steps as I get older. I've had one treatment so far, and I can already tell a difference in my knee.
And that treatment at QC Kinetics used Henry's own natural healing properties, concentrated and placed right at the source of the pain. So Henry and patients just like him will enjoy long-term relief without surgery or downtime.
My knee is not hurting. I remember I was walking down some steps yesterday, and I thought, wow, this is not hurting when I walk down steps. I'm all in on it. I'm all in on QC Kinetics.
It's time to wind back the clock to days without constant joint pain. Start with a call to QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
On 894 North, just before the National Avenue exit, the right lane is closed. There's a medical emergency, it looks like.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hello, Debbie. 41 South, just before Capitol Drive. There are 2 cars involved in an accident.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
How many of you have a bag of bags underneath your sink right now? Good, good, good. And I don't trust a damn soul that doesn't have your hand up. How am I supposed to trust you if you are not adequately prepared for the great bag shortage of 2045? What do we do with all those bags? Leftovers, dog poop, cat poop. Put them in our bathroom garbage cans. It's the perfect liner. We use them to winterize our socks when our boots got holes in them. That's why they call them Piggly Wiggly. Keeps your little piggies warm.
Charlie Barron's always bringing the laughs, and he is correct. This is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
I am Kristin Brey. And do you right now have a bag of bags underneath your sink or anywhere in your house?
I have a bag of bags in one of the cabinets. Under the sink, there's a thing on the door that holds bags.
Yep.
Just as I was putting away the Christmas decorations the other day, found 4 giant bags and a box of bags in the garage. And I walked in, I said, I've got to find somewhere to recycle these. I am ready, as Charlie said, I am ready for the great shortage.
Of 2045?
I'm ready. I've got so many. It's ridiculous how many bags are in my garage. It looks like 4 medicine
Your dogs
balls.
can't poop enough. Even with another dog this last year,
If I
can't poop
fed
enough
them
for
nothing but chili, I would never use all of these bags. It's crazy.
We don't have that many bags, but we do have, despite owning way too many tote bags that I just always forget to ever bring to the store with me, we also suffer from bags of bags. And I am, when given a choice, do paper bags, because those are easier to put your recycling in the paper bag to then put in the recycling bin. But at self-checkout lanes, they don't offer paper bags. You just have the plastic bag. So why are we talking about this? Well, if you might remember, if you were a Kroger grocery shopper, so that's Pick and Save, Metro Market, Roundy's, they at one point had said they were going to be rid of plastic bags entirely by 2025. Yes. That was 6 years ago. It is now 2025. Uh-oh. And what is the status? Well, Journal Sentinel's public investigator team looked into it, and it sounds like maybe they couldn't get a straight answer.
Yeah.
And that maybe there's still going to be plastic bags. At least there is right now.
There are now.
Unclear if there's going to still be by the end of the year because they can't get a straight answer.
Well, I know in Chicago, they had decided a few years ago they were going to tax you 7 cents a bag. Now they've raised it to 10 cents a bag. I'm embarrassed to say in the back of my car, I have about 10 to 15 reusable grocery bags. I almost never remember to take them into the store with me.
I know.
So, Walmart, it's always plastic bags. The grocery store, if I remember, I use them. I use my reusable ones. If not, I'm like, 7 cents times 4 or whatever. And sometimes it's just like
it's not a big enough tax to
not.
Actually curb behavior.
Because I will 28 cents. 30 cents, I don't care. Go ahead. 35 cents.
You don't even think
whatever.
about it.
I don't even think about it. If it was like $1 a bag, then I would stop.
See, then I think this. Yes. I think $1 a bag, people's actual behavior would stop, or they'd choose paper
100%.
Or whatever. Or they'd remember their bag.
They would remember their bag. Because all I have to do is go to the back of the car. Instead of jumping out of the car and running into the store, just go to the back, pull them all out. And you know when I use them? When I go to Costco, and then I have to put stuff in bags to carry it into the house.
So this is someone just texted in, said Aldi figured it out. So did Costco. Costco does not do plastic bags.
No
do
bags
they do
at
any?
all.
No bags at all. So you just have to roll your cart to the car.
Right, or you use the empty boxes like that they've unpacked the grapes from, and those are up there. You can put stuff in the boxes.
What do they do at Aldi? I know Rhea likes Aldi.
I do love Aldi.
I like
they have
Aldi too.
They have little totes, little plastic totes you can grab.
And then you purchase the tote.
Yeah, you purchase the tote.
So how
that's
many
yours.
Aldi totes do you own?
4.
Okay.
I have about 4 in my car,
Okay.
Aldi ones.
All right.
Now, Aldi I always remember because they don't give you the option. So when you don't have the option of
Yeah.
using a plastic bag, you are forced to do the environmentally friendly thing and bring in your reusable bag. Most of us, when given the opportunity, will take the path of least resistance when it comes to bagging. And that's like, oh, they're right here. And they're thin. And how much could you do? And then you see.
But
you
also,
know,
what I hate about the plastic bags is when you get someone who's a bagger.
Yes.
When that actually happens, that's far in
was gonna
between
say,
now.
you're
But
fancy.
they'll put like 2 things in the
Right,
bag.
yeah.
Or they'll double bag it. So now you got twice as many bags. And so I don't like how the convenience of plastic bags is what bugs me because they're there, they're not off, they're only offered in the self-checkout line, and then they accumulate and you feel bad throwing them out because you know how bad they are for the
Yes.
environment. So thus you're stuck with bags of bags that hopefully you have a pet and you can use it for poop bags. But I am in favor of starting to figure. I would love if Pick and Save actually followed through with this.
Yes.
And did not go forward because, and then we have a break. In Wisconsin, state law says since 2016, we cannot ban plastic bags. So unlike certain cities that have
Right.
gone ahead and said no more plastic bags, in Wisconsin, state law says no city or municipality, not that they had ever tried, but
Right.
got in front of it and said you can't. So it has to be from the company deciding no longer to produce plastic bags.
So you're saying Big Bag is behind this whole thing?
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
All
that
right.
makes sense.
When we come back, we will spin around the state on Spanning the State.
The only place to get this.
Every twist and turn you could possibly dream of is playing out tonight. Are you kidding me?
With some of this.
We are the Bucks, Justin.
You're a member of the team now. Okay.
Well, I have the tattoo on my arm, so I kind of am.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show with Justin Garcia and Brandon Snide. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Deep freeze is here. It's not too late for you to get hot, hot, hot. Fox World Travel has your ticket to paradise with exclusive deals you won't find anywhere else. Save up to $150 on Mexico and Caribbean vacations with Apple Vacations or get Fox exclusive cruise perks like onboard credits and more with Celebrity Cruises, Holland America, or Princess. Don't miss this limited time to book now and save only at Fox World Travel. Book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code radio.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 4-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
By now you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semper Fi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. You business owner, I got a perfect way for you to freshen up your business. How about a fresh coat of paint? Call your neighborhood CertaPro painter. Ask about their color consultation services. I use CertaPro. They're the best. They're affordable, they're efficient, they do things the right way. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Homeowners, this is the way to freshen up your house like we did. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. That's the guys I trust. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your fourth quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 844-763-2837 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today, 844-763-2837. That's 844-763-2837. MitchLyonsWealth.com, your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
If you like being prepared like I do, you know the value of a generator. When the power goes out, it's a terrible inconvenience. And that's why Quality installs effortless whole home generators that give you power when everybody else's is out. This is Anthony Zanevsky from Quality, where you'll get the signature service you deserve and whole home generators that make power outage fears subside.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. When your pipes burst, water heater's leaking, drains backing up, or whatever your plumbing problem is, the reliable plumbers at Quality are on hand 24/7 to fix your plumbing problem with fully stocked vehicles and lightning-fast response times. This is Anthony Zanevsky. Call Quality first and get the signature service you deserve to fix your plumbing problem ASAP.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It is 24 degrees in Milwaukee. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 13. Tomorrow, a few flurries, a high of 22. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm John Mercier. A suspect is shot by Milwaukee police during an overnight struggle on the city's south side.
A 19-year-old male suspect wanted for sexual assault of a child was in a home near 7th and Arthur. When officers attempted to arrest the man, that's when Police Chief Jeffrey Norman says the suspect pulled out a gun.
A struggle ensued between two officers and a suspect over the firearm. One officer discharged his firearm, subsequently striking the suspect.
That suspect is now in custody and is expected to survive. The 35-year-old male officer who shot the suspect is on administrative leave. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
An ice fisherman has died after falling through the ice in Marquette County. Sheriff's deputies arrived just after 10 a.m. yesterday to Lawrence Lake to report to the fisherman falling through the ice on a UTV. Despite rescue efforts, the man died. As a safety reminder, officers remind the public to avoid going onto frozen lakes or rivers unless they've confirmed the ice is thick enough for safe activities. A homeless encampment just outside Waukesha's Frame Park has been cleared out. Occupants were given a deadline of today to have their belongings off the private property where the encampment has been since May. In December, Waukesha Mayor Sean Riley told WTMJ overall crime had not increased in the area.
Not having a home in itself is not a crime. You're allowed to congregate. You're allowed to be in a place. Where it becomes a problem is, when they have nowhere else to go.
Mayor Riley says people cannot camp on property that isn't zoned for camping, but those kind of ordinance and trespassing violations rarely get prosecuted. And President-elect Trump making remarks today from Mar-a-Lago. During his remarks, Trump discussing Greenland.
People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world.
Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything is in the red today. The NASDAQ down big. It's off 342 points. The Dow is off 110. The S&P is down 52 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 2:03.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. But it's simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After a really simple sleep study at home, in my own bed, they determined the root cause of my problem had to do with my sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. I didn't even know I had a breathing triangle, so I went to see Advent. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, and my wife and I are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows, when you breathe well, you live better.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Packers begin the practice week tomorrow. How much will quarterbacks Jordan Love and Malik Willis be able to do after suffering injuries in Sunday's loss to the Bears?
I couldn't tell you right now because I talked to both of those guys. They seem to be doing all right, but as far as their limits, I think they're going to be okay, but we'll find out over the next 2 days.
Love is dealing with an elbow injury. Willis has a hand injury. The Packers are 4.5-point underdogs for Sunday's wild card game against the Eagles in Philadelphia. ESPN is reporting the Chicago Bears are seeking permission from the Cowboys to speak with Mike McCarthy about their head coaching vacancy. And in college basketball tonight, 7th-ranked Marquette continues Big East play against Georgetown. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN beginning at 7 o'clock. Let's check out those roads on your Tuesday. It's the WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. Pretty light volume out there. One minor delay. I-94 eastbound, the zoo into downtown. Going to take you 3 extra minutes. The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 13 degrees. Tomorrow, a few flurries, a high of 22. Thursday, partly cloudy, 28. Friday, light snow, 30. On Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 32 degrees. In Madison right now, cloudy skies and 22. In Green Bay, cloud cover and 24. In Milwaukee, cloudy skies, and it is 24 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 2:07.
time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
So many stories in Wisconsin. We highlight a few of them. And if you miss any of the details, you can always text SPIN to 855-616-1620. All right, Kristin, are you ready?
Sure.
All right.
Oshkosh.
Oshkosh. All right. The most important thing about this story that I still sometimes don't get right is that it's Lego.
Yes.
Not Legos.
Oh, correct.
It's never plural.
Correct. It is Lego.
But it took me a while to get used to that.
But if
All
you're
right.
playing with more than one Lego.
I think it's still Lego. I think it's like sheep.
Huh.
It's not sheeps.
All right.
There's never mooses.
Wow.
It's always right? All right. Anyways,
All right.
9 students are making robotics synonymous with Oshkosh. Robotics team Baxstein Velkin will be competing for the first Lego League Wisconsin Championship again after. Wait, but how is it? Oh, how's the first one?
Just
All right.
read the next sentence.
After qualifying for the January 19th state tournament in Waukesha, First Lego League is a global program that inspires youth to explore STEM through hands-on activities and competitions. The team secured their spot at the state tournament after impressive showings at the Oak Creek sectional tournament and the regional tournament at Lakeshore Technical College in Cleveland, Wisconsin. Team coach Amy Hardy told the Oshkosh Northwestern they're just super excited to have qualified for state because they're 9 kids from Wisconsin to move on to an international competition, so they're hoping to do well enough to get one of those bids. It's the 10th time that Baxstein Velkin, which is Dutch for brick falcon, qualified for the first Lego League Wisconsin Championship following last January's tournament, where the team earned a robot design award for and placed 4th in the robot game. Teams are made up of students from 4th to 8th grades. First Lego League Challenge squads are required to build autonomous Lego robots that perform a series of missions and challenges. I got it. So
Yeah.
it's not the first.
Correct.
The whole thing is called First Lego League.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. It confused me when I first saw the story. But yeah, it sounds pretty cool.
It does sound really cool.
And seeing some of the pictures of last year's creations and the robots, and these are young kids, but they're very, very smart.
Very smart.
So good for them, and good luck. It's nice to see robotics taking over Oshkosh. So they'll be able to welcome our robot overlords, and they'll
be able to translate.
They will. They'll be moved into the court. They'll
be middle management.
Yeah, they're not going to be fuel like the rest of us. All right, on that happy note, spin the robotic wheel.
Pepin.
Old Man River just keeps on rolling. The Mississippi, but not without a little help. A national effort to protect the river in the 1920s came in response to the threat of development as some residents looked to drain backwater areas to create more farmland. Well, that effort resulted in the Upper Mississippi River National Wildlife and Fish Refuge, which celebrated 100 years in 2024. The refuge covers much of Wisconsin's portion of the Mississippi River, starting just south of Lake Pepin and extending past Wisconsin's southern border to Rock Island, Illinois. So the original threats to the river are still valid today. Refuge manager Sabrina Chandler told WPR, quote, we've seen compounded threats from development in those surrounding land uses, with the increase in wetland tilling and the increase in hard surfaces within the watershed. That increases the runoff into the river and the refuge, and it has some negative impacts associated with that. Her team also faces continued challenges from industrial transportation on the river, with the mooring of barges constantly causing erosion along the shorelines. As restoration management needs increased funding for the refuge from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has taken a hit in recent years, the refuge has benefited from funding awarded by Congress through the Upper Mississippi River Restoration Program and through the Inflation Reduction Act 2 years ago. So, got to protect that river. I never thought about barges causing erosion along the banks of a river. I guess I don't think I guess I always thought they just dock at a dock. They're not just pulling up and mooring wherever they want. Barges just hanging around, doing whatever. All right. Well, listen, those are the things I think about. I see
get it.
I see barges, and I'm like, they just keep moving, right? They just go from one end to the other and then back. They like a big circle. They're not stopping. You got to stop for it. You're already moving very slow. Keep it up. Let's pick up the pace.
All right, spin the wheel.
All right. Talking to all you barge captains out there.
Marshfield.
All right, I love this story. Dogs, are a constant source of companionship and comfort.
Yes.
I think we would both agree with that. And that's proving to be true at Marshfield Children's Hospital, where a furry, quote, physician is helping patients in a variety of ways. Dr. Dolly Potton, get it, is helping patients through their procedures, calming anxiety, working through physical therapy, and sharing smiles and tail wags. Dolly is a specially educated facility dog who arrived at Marshfield's Children's Hospital in November and has spent the last several weeks helping her child life handlers work with pediatric patients. Mackenzie Tischhauser, a child life specialist at Marshfield Children's Hospital, told the Wausau Daily Herald that Dolly helps Marshfield Children's Hospital patients play fetch or play house, or even lets them paint her nails, claws, when they need to work through physical therapy. Marshfield Children's Hospital is the second children's hospital in Wisconsin to have a facility dog. The program is fully funded by donors through the Children's Miracle Network and helps provide support and education for children and their families at the hospital. Pet Supply Plus in Marshfield is also donating weekly grooming and bath services and additional in-kind donations for special events.
That is a great story.
You'd never hear of a facility cat.
Well,
you know what I mean?
do we know why? I know why.
And there's so many different stories about the dog. And I know people who are cat people, I'm not coming for you. I'm just saying in these, whether it's hospitals or other trauma situations, like it's almost always a dog.
I feel a cat would walk in, see you like looking peaked because you're sick, and just be disgusted and walk out. That's a thing, again, if you like cats, that's your thing. But yeah, dogs seem a little more nurturing.
They're a little more universally nurturing, I'd say.
Now, see, maybe I think about that rather than barges on the banks of the river. Who knows what
That's
I'll
what
think
I think
tonight.
about, right? This is the difference between you and I.
You think about nice, happy, fluffy dogs helping children. I'm like, why is this barge just sitting there? That doesn't make any sense. If you missed anything, text SPIN to 855-616-1620. When we come back, we will talk to Lafayette Crump. He is Milwaukee's Commissioner of City Development. We'll do that next on Spanning the State.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
Another brewery group is ending its run in Milwaukee, but will continue on as it's bought out by a larger organization.
Eric Bilstad.
The driver of the Tesla Cybertruck that exploded outside a Trump hotel in Las Vegas is now being identified.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
894 eastbound, still lit heavy from the Hale interchange all the way to 84th Street.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
No one wanted to hire me. They just saw my disability, but not me. I worked hard to get the education and the skills needed to thrive. I was ready to work. Then someone believed in me and said yes.
And once you say yes, Thinkability Wisconsin will be there, providing transition and workforce support for people with disabilities and their employers to help shape a better future for all. It all starts when you say yes. Join the movement at thinkabilitywi.org.
Deep freeze is here. It's not too late for you to get hot, hot, hot. Fox World Travel has your ticket to paradise with exclusive deals you won't find anywhere else. Save up to $150 on Mexico and Caribbean vacations with Apple Vacations, or get Fox exclusive cruise perks like onboard credits and more with Celebrity Cruises, Holland America, or Princess. Don't miss this limited time to book now and save only at Fox World Travel. Book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code RADIO.
At Gruber Law Offices, our biggest priority is the care and service we provide to our clients. We know accidents can be overwhelming, and we're here to help every step of the way. Call now. One call, that's all.
Welcome back back to Spanning the State. I'm Kristin Brey.
I'm Brian Noonan. We know this. This is not news, but the path to home ownership is increasingly difficult, and in some communities, it's harder than in others. Now, Milwaukee is facing racial home ownership gaps, ballooning housing prices, and the city is trying to combat those by making use of its real estate portfolio, which is hundreds of vacant houses. The Homes MKE program subsidizes developers to rehab the houses and sell them at affordable rates to new homeowners in Milwaukee. The program is run by the Milwaukee Department of City Development. Lafayette Crump is the commissioner for city development. He joins us now to share more information on the program. Commissioner, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's great to be here and great to be amongst fellow dog lovers.
There you go. So, how many dogs do you have?
I don't have any. I've got allergies to both dogs and cats, but I cannot resist petting dogs whenever I'm around them. Love them. And I think you're absolutely right that cats would be a very limited assistance in a clinical setting.
All right, now that we've alienated that portion of the population, we'll look at people who are trying to buy their first home. What was the impetus for the city to develop this program?
Well, I think it's born of an interest from the administration as well as our partners at the council to really be active, proactive about ensuring that we're doing something both to ensure that neighborhoods across the city don't have the proverbial missing teeth of properties that are not in productive use, as well as ensuring that we're creating more home ownership opportunities for people in the city, and ensuring that we're doing something about combating some of the disparities in home ownership in terms of the white home ownership rate versus the rate for a lot of Black and Latino residents. We want to ensure that those opportunities exist and that your ethnicity does not dictate whether or not you're a homeowner in this community.
So, soup to nuts, how does this work as far as homes that need to be revitalized, we'll say? How do they get identified? In what neighborhoods? Who actually does the work? How do you sign up for wanting to be the person to buy it?
Yeah, it's and I think outlining all those pieces, you note that it is, while not a complex program, it is certainly a multi-step program. We're, very fortunate to have, incredible team here at the Department of City Development, but also we're able to supplement that team also through the American Rescue Plan dollars to really devote personnel to help, implement the program that we had designed, but also to work closely with developers and contractors to get it done. So as you've noted, the city has an inventory of houses that have been dilapidated over the years that in normal cases would be assigned for demolition. Rather than demolish all of those homes, we thought it sure would be great if rather than starting from scratch and then potentially having, more vacant lots in neighborhoods where, that's really not something that people want to see, are there homes that we can save? Are there homes that we can renovate, get those back on the tax rolls quickly? But then in addition to that, can we work with a diverse group of developers to build up their skill set and then have those developers work with a diverse group of contractors to make them more capable as well, to build up their capabilities to become more home builders in the city of Milwaukee and home renovators down the road. Because one of the challenges with adding more city, more properties for home ownership in the city of Milwaukee is that you've got less contractors who are devoting their time and their expertise to building homes in the city of Milwaukee. And so if we're able to increase the number of contractors as well as workers who can do that work, it's going to benefit us for years to come. So we identified the properties that were most likely to be able to be saved, both within a time frame that's appropriate, within a certain number of dollars, so that we can ensure we're doing a significant number of homes. Those developers were identified, and so as I noted, it's a diverse group of developers. They go out, find a number of contractors, and then they work with our personnel to come up with an appropriate scope. the properties, I should say, get renovated, and then the developers sell those properties. We list them on our website as they become available, but they're also can be found through traditional means of searching for properties, MLS searches and whatnot. It's been pretty exciting to see these properties, get into the hands of homeowners, and all of them are we prioritize home ownership. Those that are not owner occupied, they are in rent to own situations. So we're it's another one of our priorities that we have a different path to home ownership available. So really excited to see where it's going.
You mentioned in the piece that I read that this program is going to have ripple effects, not only for the city but in the neighborhoods. Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
For sure. The ripple effect is it's manifold because not only is it putting these specific properties back into productive use, so therefore adding back to the city's tax base, but you can also imagine that, as the work is being done on these homes, people come out, they have questions about it, and so we're able to share information about other city programs that also assist with home ownership, whether that be our down payment assistance program, which has helped a number of families across the city of Milwaukee become first-time homeowners, our Strong Homes Loan program, which helps ensure that people are able to renovate and continue to own their homes, as well as other city programs, not just in the specific neighborhoods where this work is being done, but all over the city. It's really having a broad impact, and our goal is that we'll be able to continue this type of work even after the stimulus dollars are fully utilized.
Listening to this, it sounds like there's overlap with something like Habitat for Humanity. So as far as obviously Habitat for Humanity is a nonprofit that's separate from the government, works together sometimes. But what do you see as kind of the main differences, and who would qualify better for a Habitat for Humanity house versus one of these homes?
Well, that's a great question. Habitat is a great partner. We work with them in other respects. It's all kind of a part of this, lasagna approach, frankly, that we have to creating home ownership opportunities in the city of Milwaukee. Habitat has kind of a specific rubric in terms of income levels, as well as, as I'm sure you're aware, people who are buying those Habitat homes put in sweat equity.
Yep, absolutely.
To help produce those homes. And it's amazing what people are able to learn. I've been fortunate to volunteer a few times on Habitat homes, and man, I've learned a lot from.
You can fix a lot more at your house now.
That's right. I mean, if I could get the Habitat folks to come in and supervise me. But ours, a unique aspect of our program is that because we provide a significant subsidy to the developers to get this work done, we also work with the developers to ensure that these houses are priced in a way that they are not leading to displacement in the area, not changing the landscape of what homes are priced at in a particular market per se, and then those dollars, if they end up selling for say a higher rate than or higher amount than anticipated, those dollars then flow back to the city to kind of keep the program going. So unique aspect of this program, but a little bit different from Habitat's model.
And the one question that everybody asks when they hear about this program, because on the surface, I don't see anything wrong with this. Somebody's going to ask you, and I'll ask it now. Where is this funding coming from?
Right. So the dollars that allowed us to kick off the program came from the American Rescue Plan Act dollars that were put in place by the federal government in the wake of COVID. That and the goal of those dollars to help alleviate some of the economic challenges that arose due to the pandemic, but also to address some of the long-standing issues that made the pandemic worse in some communities and for specific groups in some communities. And, being able to implement these dollars, recognizing that home ownership and some of the other social determinants of health that have, impacted broadly, communities of color in Milwaukee, we really think that we are putting a dent in that, not only with this program, but with the way that it has a broader impact to just ensure that every neighborhood in our city, which is our ultimate goal, that every neighborhood in our city is somewhere that people would be happy to call home. That if we continue to strive for that kind of goal, it's going to have a huge impact on our city for years to come.
Where can people find out more about the program?
Well, if they go to our website, city.milwaukee.gov/DCD, you'll find a link to Homes MKE. I could give you an even lengthier email address, but if they go to city.milwaukee.gov/DCD, you'll find it right there.
Perfect. Lafayette Crump is the Commissioner of City Development for the City of Milwaukee. Thank you for your time today. Good luck with the program. We'll be watching. We want to talk to you again about it.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate the interest in the coverage.
Take care. Let's do this. Then there's more. It's Spanning the State.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is here for you, bringing you the latest headlines with John McCure.
Wanted to get you some information on the shooting suspect in that United Healthcare CEO shooting that took place in New York.
And diving into the details with Julia Fellow.
Charged with murder as an act of terrorism. Kind of bizarre when I saw that.
Tune in to Wisconsin's afternoon news, where your day's story unfolds. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Only here on WTMJ.
If you're looking to build or remodel, then check out the 2025 Metropolitan Builders Association Home Building and Remodeling Show, presented by Nuns, January 10th through the 12th at State Fair Park. Learn about the latest home building and remodeling trends from over 150 MBA industry experts. For more information and tickets, visit mbahomeshow.com. If building and remodeling is on your to-do list in 2025, then don't miss the MBA Home Building and Remodeling Show this weekend at State Fair Park.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucks fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at bucks.com/tickets. That's bucks.com/tickets.
On the other side of the news, the simple question, or is it? How much money do you need to earn to be considered middle class in Wisconsin?
And how much money is more than middle class? Maybe that'll surprise you.
It surprised me. We'll get to that. And then one of Kristin's crazy predictions from the Journal Sentinel may be starting to take hold. Was she the great prognosticator? Has she fueled this feud? We'll find out. All of that coming up after ABC News and local headlines on WTMJ.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A motorcade carrying the casket of former President Jimmy Carter made its way from Andrews Joint Base to a snowy Washington, D.C. First stop, U.S. Navy Memorial. Carter's casket will then lie in state at the U.S. Capitol until Thursday's funeral. Jimmy Carter's personal pastor, Tony Loudon, spoke to ABC's David Muir about Carter's determination over the years.
I've never seen anyone like this in my entire life, with the will to live, but more importantly, the will to serve.
Jimmy Carter was 100. Sentencing day still set for this Friday in the hush money trial of Donald Trump. A judge denied a request for a delay. ABC's Olivia Rubin has more.
A legal blow today for Donald Trump. A New York appeals judge denying his request to delay his criminal sentencing set for Friday. Judge Ellen Gesmer rejecting Trump's claim that the case should be delayed because of presidential immunity.
Fire crews in Southern California battling a fresh brush fire in Pacific Palisades. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:31. Another UTV ice rescue. A man's recovering after he fell through the ice while riding his UTV on Lake Holcomb in Chippewa County yesterday. This comes after 2 men were rescued from Lake Sinisippi when their UTV fell through the ice on Sunday. One of those men was arrested for operating while intoxicated. In Chippewa Falls, logging dangers lead to trail and road closures. The park's Recreation and Forestry Department has closed all the trails and roads leading to the north end of Irvine Park. Forestry staff are removing a large number of dead and dying trees. Even if the equipment's not in use, large branches may continue to fall in the areas that have been cut. You can see maps of the trail closures on our website, WTMJ.com. And stricter voter ID requirements could be coming to Wisconsin's Constitution. State Republicans are proposing a constitutional amendment for the April-spring ballot to enshrine Wisconsin's photo ID requirement into the state constitution. State Democrats argue the requirement makes it harder for people to vote. Wisconsin's one of 9 states where voters must present a photo ID to cast a ballot. News about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the red. The Dow is down 256. The NASDAQ now down 405. The S&P is down 75 points on the day. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's check out those roads. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. Pretty quiet trip. I-94 eastbound, the zoo into downtown. That's an extra 3 minutes. The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 13 degrees. Tomorrow, a few flurries, a high of 22. Thursday, partly cloudy, 28. Friday, light snow, a high of 30. Saturday, partly cloudy, 32 degrees. Right now in Madison, cloudy skies and 24 degrees. In Green Bay, thick cloud cover and 24. In Milwaukee, cloudy and 26 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 2:33.
Katie, Inspired Closets got another 5-star review.
That's great to hear, Dan. Another client saved from builder-grade wire shelving.
Plus, Inspired Closets was able to double their storage space, their closet, entryway, and pantry,
which calmed the chaos in their home.
Find what you're looking for and find it faster.
Don't wait any longer. Double your existing storage today.
Inspired Closets will calm your chaos. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
A wife and husband team.
When you work at St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores, you'll be helping us help others. There are many that need our help, and we need your help to carry out our mission. St. Vincent de Paul is always looking for part-time team members. You'll get competitive pay, benefits, and flexibility in scheduling. So apply online at svdpmilw.org or stop by Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, or 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Push one for the money, two for the show, three to get ready now. Go, cat, go.
Elvis is back in the building at the Fireside Theater in Fort Atkinson, and you've never seen anything like it.
Since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell.
Back in the Building features a rotating cast of the finest award-winning Elvis tribute artists and Anne Margaret, all backed by an incredible live band and ensemble. Experience the eras of Elvis in this legendary feel-good show. From the 50s to the movies, the 60s comeback to the rockin' 70s. It's all here.
Oh, see right up.
Every ticket to the Fireside includes a superb dinner prepared by award-winning chefs and a chance to visit their spectacular gift shops. Hurry, tickets are going fast. Call 920-563-9505 or visit firesidetheater.com. Elvis back in the building, live on stage, January 9th through February 23rd. Only at the Fireside Theater.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Market Watcher Brian Wickert. Well, a lot of folks have buying a home on their New Year's resolution list, and while national news headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, I'm afraid that's just not the case in most of Wisconsin. So how do you make your offer stand out from the others so that someone else doesn't end up sleeping in your dream home? Well, it takes a team of a good real estate agent and a mortgage lender who has all the tools and techniques to help make your offer as attractive as possible in the eyes of that seller. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet, rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that might also come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. We'll also help you understand exactly what it means in dollars and cents if you do decide to offer over asking or give that seller some appraisal wiggle room. All you have to do to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
She ain't got no money in the bank. She be walking around acting all stank. And now she at the party looking at me. Hope that she can get saved by me.
Is this a child at a Diddy Freak-Off? What song is this?
Can you make that joke?
It sounds like a little kid.
Jesus, Brian.
I know. It just sounds like a child singing this song. It's like the Chipmunks. Is it one of the Chipmunks singing about going to a party?
No, I think it's Swizz Beatz.
Oh, Swizz Beatz, sure. Okay. I love their cocoa. Anyway.
Where are we going? What are we doing?
We're going to find out who is middle class in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Is there a middle class in Wisconsin?
I feel like we talked about this at some point last year. We were trying to talk about, because I feel like middle class gets thrown out there as a term that everyone has a different definition for.
And it's very convenient for politicians to use the middle class. And I think when they use it, and it doesn't matter what party, they're trying to harken back to that 1950s idea of middle class, where mom stayed home. Everybody had a nice house.
You could live off. At least you could live off of one income.
One income, yes. You had a house and a car, and you had kids, and your wife had an old fashioned ready for you when you got home from work in her pearls. That's very Leave It to Beavery. That's middle class, I think. For politicians, not now. It's crazy what middle class is. So that's our question to you. What makes middle class in Wisconsin? The Siding Unlimited talk and text line is 855-616-1620. Some interesting numbers, and you kind of alluded to this before.
Well, it also obviously depends on where you live.
Yes.
Because some of this is because I think I saw the median income in California, very different than the median income in Wisconsin, but also the cost of living much higher in California than even Milwaukee and Madison, which is increasingly more expensive, certainly Madison. So some of it depends on where you live and like the spending dollar, the value of your dollar.
And that's nothing new, though. That has always played into, where you stand economically.
Yeah. But it's because what would you consider yourself?
I would say somewhere in that middle class, not upper.
You think of yourself as middle class,
not upper middle class, but not. I mean, both of us have to work, but we have our two cars, we have a house, not a big house, we have a house. So, yeah, I mean, we can pay our bills and we have food, thankfully, and all that. So, yeah, I would say that.
Because I feel like most people, when you ask them that, would think of themselves as middle class. And I say that because remember when we talked about everyone going into the election, not everyone, so many people going into the election, like the feeling of how the economy was doing versus how they personally were doing.
Right.
And this kind of relative looking around, keeping up with the Joneses. And so like if you kind of subjectively think of yourself as I'm the same as most of my friend group or my neighborhood, like we are middle class, even if you're potentially doing much better than what middle class actually is.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think there's also a point where the structure of lower class, middle class, upper class is so vague and so fluid that it's hard, and nobody wants to think, well, I'm doing horribly. Even if you're doing horribly, you still there's always somebody doing worse. So you're not the lowest of the. So you try to prop yourself up a little, but the numbers don't always bear out. But I look around my neighborhood and it's all small houses. Everybody's working.
Yeah.
It's what you would say. This is a working class neighborhood, and working class to me is middle class. They're not big McMansions. People are driving.
Do you think everyone shares that definition, or do you think working class is all encompassing of lower class and middle class?
I think if you say working,
but also I feel like upper class is still working.
Are they? No, they are. I think that's when you break down. All right, does working class and blue collar are those? But there's a lot of blue collar workers who are doing
just
well.
fine.
Yeah, they got nothing to worry about because they're working. They make money because they work hard.
A lot of blue collar workers make a lot more than
Yes,
entry level.
they do.
Some journalists I know.
Oh, and people who go into any other kind of white collar profession, there's a lot of blue collar workers who are raking in a lot of money. It's hard work, and it's but it does pay off. So I think blue collar, if you're working, you're in the working class.
Okay.
If you have to go to work,
You don't have
every day,
generational wealth,
or even if both. I think in this day and age, if both partners have to work, you have to work. It's not like, oh, we got married and I had a career that I really liked. The person I'm with, whether it's man or woman, maybe they have a better career, but I'm still working. It's not that. It's we both have to work.
But this is what's interesting then if you have kids. And if you both have to work, unless childcare is so expensive that it is more affordable for one of you to quit working entirely,
Correct.
because that entire income is going to childcare anyways.
Yes, but then
that's a different topic.
It is a different topic, but I still think you're in that working class grouping because now you're working at home because you had to make the decision that working outside the home wasn't making you any money, so now you're working in your home with your kids.
Yeah. All right, so should we not bury the lead anymore because someone just texted in? What is the income range for middle class in Wisconsin? Their guess, is it like the $100,000 to $200,000 range? Just curious.
No, according to the Pew Research Center, the middle income range for Wisconsin falls between, and this is
We'll give the definition how they're defining middle class.
They define middle class as households with incomes between 67% and 200% of the median income. That means those who earn between 2/3 and twice as much as the median household income in Wisconsin.
All right.
So now the median household income is $70,996. That's the median income. So to be middle class, you would make anywhere from $47,326 to $141,992 because that falls within the 67%.
And this is for the household.
This is for the household.
So it's not individual. So it's like Mike. It's not that Mike and I, either of us make that much. It's that combined what we make. Yeah.
Right. So the combined income. So that's a big range.
It is a big range.
And we've talked about this before too. When they give a range like 47,000, if I'm making if my household is making 47,000, I may not feel as middle class as if my household makes 142,000. That's a huge, huge difference.
But if you're only doing three categories of lower, middle, and upper,
well, then I mean,
they're all going to be kind of big ranges because if you say upper class is anything above 140,000, but to be the top 1% in Wisconsin, you're making over $660,000 a year.
Right.
I would say $145,000 a year and $600,000 a year, also a very big range.
So, but the interesting thing is, and you're right, where do we make those differentiations then? If middle class is 67% of the median income to 200%, where does, I guess,
like
lower
tax
middle
policy,
class would
like if
be?
you're going to say, like, we're gonna, like we talk about the budget coming up, right? If you're like, we're trying to help lower and middle class families, where do you draw that line of whom we're helping?
And is this just an outdated way to look at things anymore? Because as I mentioned before, you're looking back at the quote unquote ideal when the middle class was being built in this country, and it was people moving to the suburbs and having these jobs and buying the American dream. Is this just an outdated and arbitrary way to pigeonhole people?
I don't think so, because I think it's still, as we have increasing wealth disparity.
Mm-hmm.
So, like they say, the diminishing or the disappearing middle class is because there's more people there's a few people who are becoming richer and richer and richer.
The top 1%?
And there's more people who are becoming poorer and poorer. And so I think a robust middle class is a good thing.
I think
energizing that and focusing on that is a good thing as far as people who want to achieve that.
I'm just saying the terminology.
Maybe.
I agree with what you're saying. Obviously, we need that middle class because that's where the majority of us fall, somewhere in that giant range of middle class. I'm just saying if we have terminology that then has to be split even finer to upper middle class, middle class. I'm kind of in the 2/3 middle class. If you're doing all that, that's a waste of time. But we do have to focus on this group, whatever we want to call them, going forward, so that, yes, people can afford a house again and people can afford to go to work and their kids can be taken care of. And there's a lot of different things we have to do. I found that because you mentioned the top 1%, top 10% of earners in Wisconsin, you didn't need to make over $230,000.
All right.
So there's a lot of dough out there. I don't know where yours comes in, but folks, but good luck. And let's see. Upper class works 1 job, lower class works 2 jobs. There you go. That's from a texter in the 262. That's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah.
You know,
depends on the jobs. No, we got to go.
Yeah, I know, but that's when you get your trophy wife and you're sitting in your big house smoking cigars. All right.
Deep freeze is here. It's not too late for you to get hot, hot, hot. Fox World Travel has your ticket to paradise with exclusive deals you won't find anywhere else. Save up to $150 on Mexico and Caribbean vacations with Apple Vacations, or get Fox exclusive cruise perks like onboard credits and more with Celebrity Cruises, Holland America, or Princess. Don't miss this limited time to book now and save only at Fox World Travel. Book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code radio.
Looking for the most popular answer. What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. Yay! It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside, with inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your 4th quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 844-763-2837 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today, 844-763-2837. That's 844-763-2837. MitchLyonsWealth.com, your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
So how do you underpromise and still get the job? We believe in our hearts we're going to do great work for you. We're just really careful about making unrealistic promises. At Semper Fi, we refuse to set the bar higher than we can jump. But be assured, that's the goal, to do all we can to jump as high as possible to try to exceed your expectations. We're looking to break records. That's how you win over customers, get really great referrals, and build a great business. When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
All right, we got a couple more minutes before we get out of here, but you've been teasing.
Yes, this is coincidence. I don't know. All right. You made for the Journal-Sentinel, and we did some on the show too, some preposterous predictions for Wisconsin in 2025.
Which I still maintain was very funny. We
was
posted
very
it
funny.
on New Year's Eve, so not as many people saw it, but I thought it was very funny. I was very proud of myself.
It was very funny, and then we did some on the show, also very funny. We had a good time, but one of them in particular made me laugh out loud when I read it. And then today I opened the Journal-Sentinel, and I'm like, hold on.
So my joke, I'm paraphrasing, was basically that David Gruber and Russell Nicolay are going to get into a pushing match in the BMO Club at a Bucks game. So it's very niche. You basically have to live in Milwaukee to get that joke. But obviously, we all know David Gruber.
Sure.
One call, that's all. But in the last year or so, Russell Nicolay, the bald head, the long beard, has been coming for Gruber in market share of marketing opportunities across Milwaukee. So I was making the joke as far as these two seeing each other at a Bucks game and
just having it out. Go
I don't think that's actually going to happen, but apparently they are having competing billboards.
Yes, all the time. Now, Nicolay is headquartered in Hudson. That's up on the border with Minnesota. And they have been coming, the firm, have been coming into southern Wisconsin and trying to go after David Gruber. And David Gruber has said, I'm not having that. So he has begun to make inroads into northern Wisconsin. And hence, sometimes if you're on the highway, you see their billboards back to back or right across the highway from each other. And it may actually come down to your prediction.
A pushing match?
Yeah, just a big shove match. Not even a fight. It's going to be like those where somebody hold me back, and they're all making wild gesticulations, but nobody actually touches each other.
Because truly, at least in southeast Wisconsin, it did feel like all of a sudden you just start seeing, after years, decades of feeling like everyone knows Gruber.
Sure.
All of a sudden, Nicolay, my friend's podcast is getting sponsored by him. I have friends who are doing brand deals with him, and all of a sudden, he's popped up all over the place.
I'll grow a beard if he wants to pay me enough.
I know you could.
I'm already bald.
There you go.
So let's go.
You already did a mustache.
They're not even the biggest. Neither one of those guys are the biggest law firms in Wisconsin.
No.
But because they are personal injury law firms, they need to get out and get people's attention. Commercials, billboards, all of that. When I go down to Louisiana, my big joke is everybody drives horribly down there because every 6 feet there's a billboard. Get a wreck or need a check, getting a wreck. It's always so. These personal injury lawyers are always churning it out.
I know. It's also like insurance companies, right? It's like the best marketing always goes to the most boring industries,
right?
Because you have to kind of, how do we make this sexy so people will actually call us?
And these firms are big, and so you never know. David Gruber, Nicolay, they're all out there.
I would love to know if you've ever called either a personal injury lawyer, period, 855-616-1620, citing unlimited WTMJ talk and tech line. We got to get out of here for the Wisconsin's Afternoon News, but I will read those texts. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
The Upswing is your place for commerce and community.
Are you seeing the customers expect maybe a